Welcome to Love Where You Live. This is a podcast about people living in Boulder County talking about what they love the most. I'm Amanda Lovato, co-hosting with Michael Lovato today, and I'm here to interview a very special guest and friend, Lynn McChesney. Some of you may be wondering, who is Lynn McChesney? Lynn is a mother, a grandmother. Lynn is an equestrian. She is a visionary entrepreneur, and she is the owner and operator of Triple Creek Ranch. Welcome, Lynn.
Well, thanks for having me.
It's great to have you.
It's so fun to have you, Lynn, and I'm here, and I'm also going to extend that thanks. And so people will say this: you are the operator of Triple Creek Ranch. In a quick soundbite or a long one, what is Triple Creek Ranch?
What is Triple Creek Ranch? A accumulation of 33 years of a lot of passion, a lot of hard work that developed into a community of different people that have been in and out of my life for 33 years. Amanda, you're one of them right now. Your daughter is one of them right now. I've had people that have already been there that have developed into my life. That's all about being there for the love of the horse.
The love of the horse. I love that.
The horse. It's all about the horse.
So we obviously have to hear more about that. Amanda, I know you had a little follow-up there, but I'll say 33 years. So take us back. Is that when you established Triple Creek? Was that 1991, if I'm doing the math correct?
March 11th.
To be precise, March.
Right.
So
2:10 in the afternoon.
And look at that. That's amazing. So usually we kind of like to flow from early days and when you moved here, but let's just dive right in there. So it's March 11th, you know, and we're going to come full circle, but what was it like? You kicked it off. Were you nervous? I mean, was it like you're opening this amazing thing that has now endured for 33 years, 3 decades plus? Well,
I don't think anybody really knows how much they don't know when you get into business. It's that simple.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew I loved horses and I knew I wanted to do horses. And I had been doing horses already because we moved to Louisville when we moved here in 87 into Boulder County. So I'd already been on the road going from different facilities and different houses and already selling and marketing horses for people. So I just needed to find a place to put everybody there instead of running up and down the road.
Okay.
So went by and did a take one out of the box and went home and bought it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Okay. So we're 1991, but I know you came here in 1987. So I want to kind of rewind. We'll come back. We'll try and go a little bit chronological, and I can't wait to hear more about Triple Creek when you get here. But where did you grow up? Where are you from? Because that's not on Google. I can't find that. You know, share it. Where did you grow up? What was it? What were you like as a kid?
I'm an Air Force brat.
Oh my gosh.
My dad was in the Air Force, so he was in charge of all the polo ponies at every base that he was sent. So besides, I was born with the gene to be an addicted horse lover.
That's right. You have to have the horse gene.
You know, you're either born with it or you're not. You're an addict or you're not. People say, I don't know why I didn't get it. You're just not an addict.
That's right.
My dad was in charge of all the polo people, horses. So everywhere from Victorville, California, where I was born, to Omaha office airport there, all the way to England and back around. So I spent a lot of time. I think we counted at one time we lived in like 43 houses.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Just in your youth, just from 0 to 18?
Oh, yeah. It was just crazy. Every time you'd be like, this is it. You'd go, nope. But the horses kept me grounded. So no matter where we went, I knew for me, besides my other siblings, that I had the horses because my dad was a horseman.
How many siblings?
4.
4. Older, younger, both?
Younger. I'm the oldest.
You're the
one.
old. Well, that does not surprise me, Lynn. You are a natural in charge.
I was the boss.
Yeah. This is P.S. to anyone, if I make it about me, I'm in my element because I like to surround myself with strong women. And I got one on either side. So just a footnote. So favorite place, if you just picked one, maybe 1.5 places that you lived, like one that you just had to say this was a cool spot.
Santa Cruz, California.
Santa Cruz. Okay. And that was what age?
Still is.
Still is
my favorite place.
You were how old, maybe?
And I moved from there to here, so that was it better be something if you're going to take me from here to here.
Okay, so we're in the good spot here. So you're in Santa Cruz. and you moved there from here. What was daily life in Santa Cruz? Just because I like to get kind of want to see the comparison. So you moved to Boulder, but Santa Cruz, what's it like? You're by the beach. It's beautiful. What are you doing?
I lived on the yacht harbor.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
This is powerful because that's a hard draw to.
Wow, Lynn. Why did you leave?
Yeah. And then 30 minutes from there up into the Redwood Forest, up on top of Mount Madonna State Park was my aunt, which is also a renowned known equestrian, and her daughter. So I had them up there.
Wow.
So I had that, and I wasn't working at the time, so I was up there all the time, and then I was down there too.
Okay, so you're in a good spot, Northern California, beautiful.
Yep.
Doing the horse life early, and then boom, snap your fingers. All of a sudden you're in Louisville. I don't know what I miss. Tell me what I miss here.
Well, Dave was convinced, my husband at the time, that we needed to get out of Santa Cruz.
Okay.
To raise kids and do all that.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
Took a job in Denver.
He did. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So we came out here.
All right.
So sitting in my new dentist, Dr. I think his name was Lopez.
Okay.
Sitting in there in Louisville, I said, "What do you got for me in horse people?"
Yeah.
He said, "Well, go see Dick Ayers at Blue Cloud Farm." I said, "Okay."
Okay.
Blue Cloud is still around too.
That's right. Helen Gould still has it. Off I went, and then it was just history from there.
Okay. So Amanda, and I'm fascinated. This is why I do this. I love these stories. I mean, I already, just a sliver of a person. And please cut me off.
No, it's great.
So you're starting to work, you're just working, you're living, you've got how many, one child? How many?
I got two.
Got two children.
One on the way.
Two and one on the way in Louisville.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you buy, you rent, you do both. What are you doing?
We bought.
You bought up in Louisville.
Bought a very expensive home at $60,000.
Okay. Throw 60. Yeah. That's high value. So that
wonder what it's worth today.
$1.2 million.
Yeah.
So okay.
Brand new house at that.
Brand new. Yeah. New. So Louisville, but you've got two, one on the way, and you're working, you're driving to Blue Cloud, and you're just doing some jobs that you love. Imagine you're kind of having
anybody, when you walk onto anybody's facility and you say, "Hey, I know horses. What can I do?" And they say, "Well, I can't pay you, but I'll work you."
What
That's
an industry.
Pretty normal.
It's good. Love it.
Hasn't started changed much, but Dick just said go for it. So that's how it started, and then the relationship started with the Dick, and then he's the one that said, "Hey, I got a friend that wants to sell a horse," and I said, "Okay."
Sell a horse.
Sell a horse. So
that was your business, right?
Well,
Helping
not at
people.
the time.
Oh, okay.
At the time, he said, "I've got a neighbor that needs to get his horse sold. Do you want to sell it for him?" I said, "Sure." So went over there, and he didn't have any money either. So I traded him a saddle and sold his horse, which was 200 pounds overweight. Got her fit. Got her fit, traded the saddle, got her sold. And the next time I knew there was somebody else, and then there was somebody else. So I was driving all over Boulder County at different people's farms and marketing and selling and conditioning and getting their horses sold for them.
Wow.
And then that ran out, and I decided I needed a bigger space, and that's when I bought Triple Creek, was to do that so I could do the sale business out of there.
So you bought Triple Creek to be able to sell horses. Mm-hmm. That was the goal. Mm-hmm. Get in
I've
here.
I've been doing it long enough for 2 years that I had a little bit of a following, not much at the time, but a little bit. But it was just the running up and down the road and 3 kids. So
yeah. Late 80s, early 90s, you're getting ready to buy a ranch. Is that just like, how does that work? You just walk up and say, "I'll take this ranch." How's that work?
Yeah, it's pretty easy. You could do it too.
Honey?
Matter of fact.
Is that why we're here for real?
Anybody can go buy a horse ranch.
Okay.
It's what comes after.
And I get 60, you got a 60. So tell me this, how'd you make that happen? I mean, just where there's a will, there's a way. I mean, I know there's a story here.
Oh, there's a land contract. There's everything. I sold everything we owned in Louisville, which we had just bought that house 2 years. Brand new furniture, all the stuff you do to put in a house.
Make it a home.
Okay.
Make it a home, slow but sure. And then found this and said, okay, I don't care what we have to do. So we sold everything. Hardly had the money for the escrow and was headed in and sold the last of the bunk beds. Got rid of those, sold the diamond I had, which still right off my hand. Who cared? I wanted the ranch. I didn't care what it was.
She was going to do whatever it took to get that ranch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So did that and got it bought and went down to Walmart and got some air mattresses.
Okay.
And moved into a single wide trailer that the agricultural help had lived in on that part of the farm. I didn't move into a house. It was that.
Oh, man.
And it's 64 acres, Lynn?
64 acres.
Rolling acres, too. Beautiful.
That was
You've got 3 ponds or 2 ponds?
There's 3 ponds.
Triple
That's
Creek.
why I called Triple Creek, because there's 3 creeks.
Must be. So all right, keep going. You're on the I'm painting a picture. I'm sure everyone is. So we're 1991. You said double wide.
It didn't look what it.
Oh,
I'm
no,
sure
it
did.
wasn't double wide.
Single wide.
It was a single wide with a pop out, 3 little kids, a husband, me. We did it all. And of course, all I cared about was getting to the barn.
Dang, I love this.
Yeah.
See, folks, this is my quick. I like to look at the folks and say, take some notes. If you want it bad enough, you make it happen.
You make it happen. Absolutely.
That's so good. And there's not enough of that, I think. So good less. So and then I'm sure at that point, it's just like the next day you're profitable. It's amazing. You're ready
Yeah, it was tough.
It was tough.
It was
Tell me about
hard, my first 3 years, I didn't know if I'd make it.
Okay.
I wasn't sure we were going to be able to pull it off. And we bought that farm for nothing. You can imagine real estate cost at that time.
Yeah.
But it was still a lot. And it was a lot to take care of and a lot to do. And there wasn't any hired help. So it was me and Dave. And my oldest was in 3rd grade.
Wow.
And then, of course, Zach was born. He was 2. And he's still there. I tease him. He's still in the basement. So.
Yeah. Hey, at least there's a basement now. Because
Well,
before there wasn't.
No, there was no
Single wide with a
basement.
pop-out.
That's right.
He was
That's
in the pop.
exactly right. Those are some good times.
I bet.
And
I bet.
to work we went, and we just started developing and, sales and boarding were my primary business for a long, long time, 15 years, sale business. So that carried me for a long time.
And your boys were in it too. They worked at that barn every day.
Well, besides Zach,
Yeah. Oh, okay.
he'd get off the bus and go behind the house, clear up to the back lake. It'd take him, we'd be like, where's Zach? He'd never come straight to the house. The other 2'd come straight and do his job, but not Zach. Now look who the hardest worker
that's
on
right.
the farm is.
Amazing.
That's right.
Yeah, comes full circle. So just to orient, and if you guys are looking, obviously on the web, we can find Triple Creek, but in real life, Nelson Road, come off of 36, start heading east, and it's there on the north.
1.5 miles.
1.5 miles down the road. I just past 39th. You hit that's one of the little
You'll
roads.
see toll gate on your right.
Toll gate. There you go.
And then the next left is.
Across the street from the Gone with the Wind house.
That's right. With the pillars.
That's right.
Which could be yours for the low house for sale.
Yeah, that one's for sale for 3.1.
Yeah. Lingering. So, okay. And then I'm going to come in now. I'm starting to get a picture. You're boarding. We're going to fast forward. Well, maybe not. Like for the love of the horse. So tell us how you got to where we intersect, which Amanda's going to share in a minute. We're not there for, I guess we are, but like we came in there with kids. There's kids. It's a kid.
Yep.
It's a kid paradise. It
is now.
Okay.
Not that there weren't young people involved at that time, but I was not doing at that time summer camps, youth programs, youth riding opportunities, all that kind of stuff. I was primarily boarding, if you wanted to keep your horse there, training if you wanted somebody to help you with your horse,
Gotcha.
and sales.
Okay.
The barns at that were 15 head of sale horses. It was a big consignment program. So that was my primary business for 15 years.
Okay.
And then when did you switch that over and why,
Well, a couple of things were happening in that 15 years of it. I was back in the day when the marketing was the good old fashioned, you took the picture of the horse and you ran to Target and you developed the pictures and you hoped to maybe find that perfect one where ears were up, everybody's happy and looking good. You go home, you get on the computer, you paste and not even on the computer, paste and cut. You put that on there, you make a copy, then you send all those out to everybody you knew that was buying horses or your trainers. It wasn't like it is now at all. And then you cold call. You were always on the phone, good old-fashioned marketing, right?
Yep.
On the phone, trying to get them, hey, did you get my flyer? Hey, I got this for sale, type of thing. Well, then all of a sudden, Facebook, all of a sudden, social media, all of a sudden, you put a horse on social media now, it's gone. Gone. 5 minutes, gone. You can't be quick enough. Wow. So unless you know somebody in the barn that knows somebody, you're probably going to miss it. It's that fast. So that happened. And also, very unfortunately, my son passed away at 22 years old. So he drowned up in the punch bowl in Aspen.
Dang it.
So that was life changing and alternating.
What year is that?
Well, it was 16 years ago.
Oh,
this June. Yeah.
Life changing 16 years ago, 2008.
Good job, Mike.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So tell us what that means. Life changed. I mean, that's.
Well, you just don't function. So everything stops.
Of course.
Nothing matters.
No.
You don't care if you
Zero.
keep the ranch, lose the ranch. It's over. Plus, 2009, the economy went to hell.
Great.
That's right. It sure did.
So boom, boom, boom. There was lots of things just swirling around in the universe.
Right.
So by the time I came back online enough to realize, my farrier told me one day, he passed me. He said, how you doing? I said, I'm not doing so good. He goes, well, you need to get better quick. And he says, you can't do this. I said, I just don't really care. He says, yeah, you do. Get up. Go back to work.
Gave me the chills.
Just get with it. He says, it's not, this isn't forever. There is another way out. You're going to be okay. Get up and keep going. So once he did that, going back online.
What's his name? Tell us his name.
Steve Tail.
Steve Tail. Thank you, Steve Tail. Okay.
Yeah.
Kicking the pants.
Yeah. So once I did that and came back online, it wasn't the same. Therefore, the sale business, that back and forth hustling, it was gone. So I needed something more nurturing, something that would make me want to get up and go to the barn besides the horses, which they did, because you get to go to the barn no matter what.
Yeah.
You got to go feed them. You got to go take care of them.
That doesn't stop.
And that does put you in a little bit better mood.
Mm-hmm.
I know from personal experience, if I go to the barn and I'm not in a great mood, I come back and I feel like my heart's full.
Yep. So that's exactly what I did. I just looked at it and said, what could be better than horses? And I said, children.
Oh.
So started the lesson program developed around the kids, which in Boulder County at that time, unless you owned a horse and you were in a training program with a trainer, with your child, there was nowhere to go to really get lessons.
Makes sense.
There was no camps to speak of. So if you're a little girl sitting in town and you've got the gene and you're an addict.
She's describing Valentine.
Yeah.
Carrie, our daughter.
You're a complete addict and nobody will let you ride because you don't own a horse, you don't have all those things, then you're out of luck.
Yes. Okay.
So that wedge of the big circle of wedges of what you see, there was a lot of people like that one, very small wedge that people were offering opportunities for people to come and say, yeah, do summer camp, get involved. Wow. Hey, take lessons. We've got a great youth program. So, and that just filled the heart because now you've got horses and now you've got kids and now you've got not only that, but nothing wrong with the adults. They're amazing. They're part of the picture.
Sometimes.
Yeah, but
No.
Just kidding. The kids really, they do.
Kids are awesome.
They are awesome. And what Lynn has created too is a magical place. My boy does not have the horse gene. He has the tractor gene. He would rather be out there with Cesar or Zach hammering stuff or riding the tractor, but he loves camp. Mm-hmm. He loves it. He started going last year. And, admittedly, unlike a lot of the children, he doesn't love getting on the horses, but he loves mucking out the stalls. Mm-hmm. There's other things that you guys have created for these children to do that make them so happy. He comes back exhausted too, which is amazing.
Dirty too.
And dirty.
That's fine.
That's the goal. That's the goal. Tired and dirty.
Yeah.
Tired, dirty, happy.
So I just transitioned from the sale business for all those reasons into that, and it saved me.
Yeah.
It saved me.
In a lot of ways. I love that. What a beautiful I think you're feeling sort of helpless and you're in a hole, and then you start providing, you're helpful to everyone. You provide this amazing experience, and it lifts you. And magical. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, thank you for sharing that. I know that never gets easy. I mean, you can tell that story for another 10, 20 years. It's going to be as painful. So
that's okay. I'd rather talk about him than not talk about him.
I know. And for sure. And I think anyone that, all of us can relate to that because we all have parents, we all have kids. Sorry, we don't all have kids. If we don't have kids, we all have parents, right? So everybody can have that mother, son, father, daughter, any bond right there. We can all feel that. I mean, it gets me, like I said, choked up in a little bit of a, I don't know. It just gives me the shivers. Let's do this, Amanda. We mentioned Valentine, so now we're back in what year? What happened? How did we bring our horse genes over with her horse genes? How did this happen?
Michael, I think the way I figured out Valentine had the horse gene, I put her on top of a pony when she was 18 months old, and she loved it. Whereas when we did that with Zane, he screamed and cried and said, "Get me off." Valentine loved it. She wanted to walk. She wanted to trot. She wanted to do everything. So, I started looking around and I found this one place out in Lafayette who offered parent-child pony rides, for $25 or something. So we did that for a little while. And then I heard about this place called Triple Creek Ranch holding horse shows. And I said, well, that would be fun to go to. I've got my 3-year-old. Let's just do something because I'm home all day with a 3-year-old now, and I've got to find things to do other than the zoo, other than the children's museum. And I know she has the horse gene. So anyway, we went on to Triple Creek to go watch the horse show, uninvited, but we just went. And I met you, Lynn, with my 3-year-old then, and you said, why don't you just go take a walk around my ranch? There's this girl named Ella. She's around with the mini ponies. Go see her and go hang out with her for a little while. I bet your daughter will love that. So I found Ella, who's still at Triple Creek now to this day. I think she was 8 or 9 at the time, and she's walking around with the 2 minis. And we hung out with Ella, and my daughter loved it. And we watched a little bit of the horse show, and we went home. And I thought to myself, wow, this ranch is really amazing. I really like this woman. She's a straight shooter. She's direct. She's honest. And you need that in the horse industry. The horse industry, it can be, a hard place to be. And you need honest people. And I like to surround myself with people just like Lynn.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah. So I told myself, all right. I looked up on her website. She offered camps when kids were 5.5. I said, all right. Got 2.5 years left. And we did. We enrolled Valentine.
And actually, I remember, Lynn, you remember March, before she wasn't quite 5.5. She wasn't a legal 5.5. And you said, you know what, we can bring her in, brought her into a spring break camp. And she did a 2-day spring break camp, I think.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And she said, almost.
Well, and then I said, you know what, Lynn, I really want to get my daughter horseback riding lessons here. And she said, no. And I said,
too little, too young.
But I wouldn't take no for an answer.
Oh, really?
I didn't. I didn't
know that about you.
So I called her once a week until she finally told me yes. Mm-hmm. And she got us into her Saturday program with one of her beginner lesson women or ladies. And Valentine started taking lessons. And then before you knew it, we were jumping right in. She was 6 years old and riding with the 10-year-olds and
but let's don't forget about how many summer camps.
Oh yeah, we were doing 5 or 6.
I've got the record.
Every summer camp, there'd be Michael.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I have to say,
hola.
That's right.
Open the car door.
Yep.
And the thing I did with Valentine too, she noticed that some of her friends were becoming camp helpers, and I said, "No, ma'am, you are not going to be a camp helper." I said, until you are old enough and mature enough to talk to Miss Lynn and ask her to be a camp helper, you are going to continue to be a camper. And it took everything she had. It took her, I don't know, maybe 6 months.
Took a while, yeah.
Took her a little while, but she did it. And I have to say, Lynn, now that she's a helper, you have empowered this child.
Yeah.
It is amazing to see her blossoming and flowering, and you guys offer such an incredible program for growth. This year they're doing a summer helper program where if they do one, I think they get a t-shirt, and it goes on where they get rewarded. Yeah. And Valentine said, Mommy, I don't want to do any less than 5. Really?
She's going after the big
She's going for the big
She
prize.
wants to, but and then Michael and I are like, oh gosh, we got to figure out our vacation plans. We don't know.
Vacation. Got the horse gene.
Yeah,
so
she does.
I think this is now. Let's go to. All right, I'm listening to this podcast. I don't know anything about horses, but I have kids. Tell us what's the draw? Like, why do I go out and drop my kid off? What's a horse camp? Tell us what it's about. What do you do? What's the ins and outs of these camps? I don't know. I need to know.
Well, the draw is a combination of not just the horse. It's being outside underneath the blue skies.
Yeah.
It's being grounded with your feet on the ground. It's being going back to your roots of feeding and watering and cleaning and helping with the horse and learning about that, farrier work, veterinarian work. So yeah, we do a lot of riding.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of just being outside for those 5 hours, whatever they're there, of Mother Nature all around you. I mean, we've got the owls, we've got the baby horses, we've got this, we've got that type of thing.
We have a bobcat there too.
Yeah, I mean,
I saw a snake.
Yeah, we see a lot of those.
Saint saw the, yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
those will scare you right out of the indoor.
Not our boy.
Okay.
So it's more than just the horse, but that's the draw. Because I get a lot of boys in summer camp, and their moms are always worried because there's so many little girls. And those boys have so much fun, and so do the little girls. And for me, it's if you never take lessons and you never learn to ride at the level that Valentine, your daughter, is at, that's okay. I've created an opportunity in a place that you can come at least 7 times a year if you wanted to do 7 camps, which Valentine did.
Yes, she has.
He has.
But even if you did 1 or 2, let's just say 1, that little girl, that little boy knows that once a year they can go and safely learn to ride. They don't ever come off a lead rope. They're very well supervised.
Sure.
And have that whole feel of what that feels like. I mean, you can't get that sitting and watching it on TV. You can't get it doing anything else that I can think of unless you're in the trenches with it.
And might I add,
Well said.
I've been at a lot of barns throughout my life. Lynn has the most beautiful, well-kept, cared for, and safe horses. I mean, obviously things happen sometimes, but they are so safe.
Things happen everywhere. I think I remember when we were looking and
that's what I cared about.
That's where also the referral, when people say, hey, where should we ride? Immediately she brings up safety and that's
the number one thing.
So I love that answer because, again, from my perspective, not being born with the horse gene, but marrying into it, it really is awesome that the kids get fired up about nutrition day. And they come and they're not in there. They don't run in and jump on the horse. They've got to learn how to muck the stall, do the chores. Chores are huge. That's a big part of, I think, raising a good kid, giving them chores. So then suddenly you're going to do chores at camp and you love it.
Well, you know what I'm most impressed with? You remember all the days, Michael, because you dropped off a lot. I'd open that car door and here you'd be with your bags of carrots and bags of apples. It's nutrition day.
Nutrition day, yeah.
Or how about game day?
Game day's good.
Game day's good. Game day's the best day of the week. The donut hole race, M&M race.
All of it. I know.
All that good stuff.
And that's why Zane needs to sign up, because I don't get to watch when she's the helper.
That's true. That's true. Well, Zane loves it.
No, for sure.
Not for the horses, just what she was talking about.
And he does, and he's cute. Like he does like the horses. Like he doesn't have maybe the passion that Valentine does. But so coming to others, so your summer program, there's 7. I just want to kind of highlight this again because it's huge. And Lynn's, yes, a straight shooter, but a huge heart too.
Huge,
which
generous.
You feel. Like we all feel that that care. So folks can find a camp all summer, and then we have. I mean, I know the answer here, but what else are we offering here for camps?
Well, I wouldn't wait for all summer because they're already 3/4 full.
So if you want to sign up, go to Triple Creek.
I would suggest that if you want to get involved, there's 3-day camps, there's 4-day camps.
Super.
Type of thing.
Okay.
So there's that part of it to get the kids involved. As far as the lesson program, They need to be 7 years old to learn to ride.
Okay.
Unless, of course, you're Amanda's daughter. And you're Amanda calling me, which works with me. I'm great, man. You stay on my case. I'll make things happen.
Yes.
Yeah, I was leaving messages on your cell phone, your home phone. I found you.
Yeah, I loved it. But so that, generally the 7 years old is a nice time to start them.
Okay.
But unfortunately, our wait list is so big too.
Sure.
Because again, it's just 33 years of developing something, and that's what you want. So we do our best to get those kids in, but they can be up to an 8 month to a year wait list.
Well, and I can vouch for that. Valentine and I were at the Tractor Supply store getting chick stuff for our chickens, and she's in her riding gear, and a man came up to her and he said, "Where do you ride?" "Oh, I ride at Triple Creek Ranch." He's like, "Well, I've been trying to get my daughter over there." There's a heck of a waiting list.
There is. But so the lesson program is available there. We do horse shows. We do 4 a year. They're also on our webpage at triplecreek-ranch.com. Triplecreek-ranch.com. Otherwise, you'll get the nice Triple Creek Ranch up in, where's that, Montana?
I've done that.
Oh, my God, that's gorgeous up there.
It does look nice. It does look nice. Okay.
So the horse shows are also there. You do not need to be invited to come. You, a spectator, you can always stop in and enjoy watching the horse shows. And then the horse shows also are part of our educational stuff for our lesson program, because those kids, as they're growing in the lesson program, we want to teach them what that's about too. So that's why we have the horse shows as well, to continuing education.
So good. So good. I think Triple Creek, folks, it's a cool spot, magical spot. I think that really is the best term for it. I'd have you guys check that out. And you don't have to know anything. You guys, honestly, if you're listening to us and you're going, "I don't know anything about horses," I think this is your foray into the world, a taste test. I want to talk a little bit more about Lynn McChesney. So here's the thing. We're going to come out here and we'll say, you've answered every question. We've covered everything, but let's talk about this. You're often just there in Longmont. You work hard. It's demanding. You give a lot of yourself. When you stretch out and you say, I'm going to get away from the ranch. What's a highlight? Where would you go? How would you spend an afternoon or evening off the ranch anywhere in the Boulder Valley? Is there something you'd share with us where we could find you? And no's an okay answer.
I thought about that on the way over here. And here's the deal.
Tell me.
I enjoy going out and, of course, having dinner with a girlfriend.
Yeah.
First of all, nobody cooks as good as I do or my son. So it's really tough to get out there and go, okay, well, that wasn't as good, but enjoy the company. But at the end of the day, my deck,
that's the spot.
Is the spot. I've created a bubble in my life down there. And I always say it's a great big bubble. So once you hit the top of the driveway and you come into the bubble, anybody that comes into it feels it.
That's true.
It's everything that's everything that's going on down there. All the personalities, all the everythings of in this bubble. So trying to get out of it, I'm called a barn sour mare, which is exactly what that is. And
Google that.
If you don't understand what that is, that's an old mare that you get on in front of the barn, and you can't kick her, whip her. I don't care what you do, she will not leave the barnyard.
Okay.
So for me, I'm pretty content with just being home.
Yeah.
And home is tricky because my house sits up like a tower. And I've got great binoculars. I see everything. So it's pretty hard to totally let down. But I'm not a traveler. I committed to this way of life, and it's hard to get away. I can get away, but it's hard to get away and not worry, and things happen and all the things that go on with it. So I don't have a place.
Well,
Triple Creek.
So again, what I hear there is it's a testament to what you've created. Your place is the place in Boulder. In Boulder Valley, like that's your spot. Mm-hmm. So
it's my spot.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And I think,
I like to think, as Amanda has complimented me on, that I know for a fact it's a lot of people's spots, and even if they're not there now, they've been there. It's been It's been their spot. And for those people out there that don't know they're going to get there, then when they get there, it'll be their spot.
I love that.
And if that's my job. My job is to create a bubble, and it's easy to do because there's no politics. There's nothing. Everything that I do there is for the good of the land, the good of the people, the good of the children, the good of the animals, the good of all the, the air, everything around me in my bubble. I mean, if we all did that,
we'd have a pretty awesome world.
We
wouldn't we? Bunch of bubbles touching. I know. No, you're spot on. That's beautiful, and we should all aspire a bit to have more of that. Make our space our own. I mean, I like to get out too, but you really have to love where you are, and that's why we have this podcast. Saying, you love where you live.
You love where you live.
Well, and I love Boulder County. I mean, I get down in my barnyard, and the last few nights have been unbelievably gorgeous. And
That's
now
right.
we're in that spring, late, gorgeous evening.
Oh,
I call that angel light, coming down. It's just breathtaking. And you look back and we still have the snow caps on the mountains, on the foothills. And
it's the perfect time of year.
It's just breathtaking. What a place to live. I did not know when I moved here that I would be where I'm at 33 years ago. I had no idea.
Any part of you ever is like, hey, remember I head back to Santa Cruz when the last couple
Well, my family's still there.
Yeah.
And they have 3 ranches.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's
3 of what I do. And so I'm actually going at the end of the month. So I'll be sure to ride through the redwoods, which are amazing, and get a ride down on the beach at Moss Landing.
beautiful. Huh?
Yeah.
What time should we be there?
Yeah, talk about a magical space.
No, it's beautiful. Well, again, this is, and I think powerful. You didn't know what you were coming to. You know what you left, and that it's kept you here that long. It really speaks to the power and the beauty of the Boulder Valley and what you've like we said, what you created. Right, Amanda?
That's right.
Yeah. So, well, I don't know. I guess the other thing is, and this, if you'd named a restaurant, Amanda and I were going to take you there, just so if you can't name, no, it's fine. It's the offer's up.
Her son is like a gourmet chef.
No.
I mean, sometimes I overhear what he's making for Lynn that night, and I'm just like, whoa.
Maybe I'll just have you guys over for supper,
Hey,
and then you'll see. Yeah.
it worked. No, this is wonderful. I mean, I love it. I don't know. So this is the point when I say to anything that you thought about, maybe you were thinking, ahead of this conversation that you want to share that we overlooked, anything that's missing, and no is a okay answer, but anything you want to share with the listeners or with me and Amanda before we say goodbye for now?
No, I can't think of anything. I mean, Boulder I was thinking about that driving in. If I were to say something about Boulder to somebody that was moving here is, just being open-minded to all the different types and styles of personalities that you're going to meet here, because everybody has something to share with you, and everybody just be open-minded to that, because my goodness, we have a lot of different types of people here.
That we do.
And they come from everywhere, and they come for the same reason that we're all here. And that is exactly what we talked about, the bubble.
There it is.
Everybody's got a bubble in Boulder County.
I dropped. That's a mic drop moment. Get that for the clip.
Yep.
But I'm serious. That's beautiful. I love that, and that is true. I think some really great nuggets for folks that are listening, and I'm always looking for these nuggets to make myself better and live a better life. But Lynn, that was beautiful. Thank you.
I think we should get a bubble machine for camp.
I think that would be amazing.
Yes,
Yeah, I think
metaphorically.
we should do
And
that.
yes,
That's just
let's do
because
that. I think I've got a contact for you. I think I know. I've seen one for rent. If you want to try it out, I just saw that, so I'll share that offline. But amazing, Amanda. Anything that
I think we've covered just about everything. We learned some stuff about Lynn today.
A lot of stuff. Yeah. Great stuff. Well, amazing, Lynn. Thank you so much for coming out of the bubble.
Thanks for having me, and thanks for sharing Triple Creek with everybody out there. And they can find me again on the webpage at Triple Creek-Ranch. And it's a very thorough webpage, so you'll have lots of information there.
All the info. And you've got 2 big fans right here, Lynn, and I think you know that. And we're always out there screaming to folks about how wonderful it is. And
I get text all the time from, my daughter's school. Hey, my daughter or my child is interested in horseback riding. Where do I go?
Yeah.
Here's the link.
And so we'll keep doing that. Big fans. Thank you so much for spending time with us here on this conversation. And I will encourage everyone to check her out online. Go see the horse, the magical horse space and beyond. Go see Lynn's Bubble. And until we meet again for another conversation, I always encourage everyone, you included, Lynn and Amanda, to go out and do something that you love.
That's easy for me.
Thanks, babe.